G'day golfers. Ever found yourself redirecting blame and making excuses after having an absolute shocker on a golf course? I know that I have. Range was closed, I was a little cold, didn't warm up, I hit it in those 3 old divots. Then we have the podcast for you. We focus on how to fundamentally own your swing. Strike it pure and consistently shoot in the 70s. Be it if you're a weekend hack, retired and playing daily, a school phenom or a tour professional. We present and discuss facts and physics pertaining to golf, trying to keep our ego and opinion at bay. We dispel myths such as keep your head down, bend your knees, or my all-time favourite, game improvement irons. So stop drinking that mythical Kool-Aid and have a sip of ours. I think you'll find it both inspiring and refreshing. I'm Scott Young, founder of Swing, PGA professional and ex-tour player. And together with physical therapist Dr. Sean Joyce, welcome to Pivot the Path. G'day and welcome to Pivot the Path.
Good morning.
Morning, how are you, sir?
Doing really well. We got December rolling around here. Feels like wintertime in New York City.
How was the scoot up? What are we talking temperature-wise?
2 degrees when I left the house.
Yes.
No, that was yesterday. Today, a little bit warmer.
Okay, so we're up to about 5 degrees Celsius, 40 degrees Fahrenheit.
So it's cooling down, and the trees arrived in New York City.
The tree arrived.
There's always a lot of magic in the air around Christmas time in New York City.
That thing's massive.
Yeah, it's always super impressive. Every year I say I'm going to avoid that area entirely just because it's so hectic and touristy. But I get dragged there no matter what every year, and I do look at that tree and think it's impressive.
Yeah, December, we come from December now in New York City, which starts to get pretty cold and kind of leads us into, mate, holiday, Christmas, festival season. What's your family do? You and both Marie, obviously different parts of the globe.
Yeah, so I usually will go home to Colorado for Christmas, so it's nice there. Like you can get that white Christmas option to ski. Sometimes weather can be good enough to even play some golf.
Oh, that's so
it's really
jealous.
Nice. And then my wife's family's from the Netherlands, so they just get together. They have a good time always. Big family. She's got 3 siblings, and they have an awesome thing in the Netherlands. A second Christmas, they call it.
What's a second Christmas?
Give you a normal bank holiday, Christmas Day off, and then the following day is always another day off.
Oh, so like Boxing Day for Australians?
Yeah.
Okay, we call it Boxing Day. Actually, I should know the traditions of why it is Boxing Day because we're probably so drunk that we start hitting each other.
That would make some sense.
I have no idea, so I've actually should do some research on that. So we have Christmas here in New York City. What do you and Marie do? What will you do together? Will you go back to Colorado?
Yeah, we'll go back to Colorado. We're gonna stay at this really cool old hotel in Colorado Springs, just at the base of the mountains.
Oh, brilliant!
You can kind of stay, and it's up to you what you want to do. They've got 2 golf courses, really nice ones.
Fantastic.
So hey, if weather works out, we could play. Otherwise, there's spas, pools, stuff you can go do.
One thing that's very frustrating for me is that all the New York golf courses shut down. I mean, our little size 11s walking on the green are not going to do any damage. That's one thing that really frustrates me as a golf nut is that these golf courses shut down.
Yeah.
They should just say, look, you're not going to have the services. We're not going to do the whole red carpet. But if you want to play, knock yourself out.
Get out there and play. Yeah, it's great to have an activity on the holidays like Thanksgiving and Christmas where you get out and move a little bit so the rest of the day when you're sitting around eating. Yeah, and for you back in Australia, it's going to be summertime.
Oh, so we were in Australia last
swim.
Year.
Yeah.
Last year we spent Christmas Day on Shelley Beach.
That's awesome.
And we did Shelley to Manly swims, which is what I used to do all the time. It's about 2 Ks. And we spent the day, Christmas Day, actually on the beach. And we were...
That sounds great.
Obviously, Rosemary's Colombian heritage and I'm very English, pale skin. And so my number 2, Matilda's like me, and the other girls and Colt's more dark like Rosie. And so Matilda and I were like, we got off the plane white as a ghost, and then we got so sunburnt. Yeah, brutal. Brutal. What about Christmas? Funny stories? What's your quick, any antics that happened Christmas? 2, 3 years ago when we had our first first Christmas in this new house, we went out and we do our Christmas tree, right? So we cut down the tree. That's very important to the girls. And it's a morning, we drive out, there's a farm, and we do the whole... And we had a Clark W. Griswold moment, which is one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, yeah.
And Matilda saw this tree, and there was this light glow around this tree, and the girls were like, yep, that's it. And so we grabbed our saw and cut it down. And Rosie and I thinking, oh, she looks pretty big. It took 5 guys to get us on our Suburban, which is like 1,000 feet long anyway.
Yeah, it's like a boat.
It's like a boat. And then they had wrapped it. So we get it in the house. And then we like put it in the stand. And it was literally Clark W. Griswold. I had to get a chainsaw. I kid you not. And I'm chainsawing the stem of this thing to get it down because it was it was just hysterical. There's chips flying everywhere.
Yeah, sounds like a disaster.
It was a disaster.
Great story now, though. I always like to get one. We just have a small New York City apartment, so do have a tradition now. We get an actual tree.
Yeah,
but,
nice.
You just go around there on the street everywhere, and you can barter back and forth, try and get a deal.
And that guy's on there from like 4 a.m. till
just standing
midnight.
out there freezing.
They're all
It's
Canadian.
crazy.
They're all Canucks.
Yeah.
Shout out to our Canucks.
But I've been the guy on the train, with the Christmas tree. And, you got to get it home somehow. And
nice.
honestly, it's not the weirdest thing someone's going to see on the train.
Oh, that's so good. So
doesn't
you're
seem
6'2". So what you get a 6-footer or do you go a 7-footer?
I think we have 9-foot ceilings, so I try to get as close to the ceiling as possible. Stretch the thing out.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. So that kind of leads us to what we're talking about today, which is our holiday Christmas gifts.
Yeah.
Let's go what we would like to receive. Give me a couple of holiday gifts that you think, as a golf nut, you and I both golf nuts, what would you like to receive?
Yeah, so there's a few ways you can go about it. One that actually was just recently given to me, thanks to you, Scotty, is a heated vest where you charge it up. It's got a power bank, a few coils for the lumbar spine, T-spine, the chest to keep you warm out there.
It's actually brilliant. Actually brilliant.
It's amazing. And they have ones on Amazon they're pretty cheap and reasonable.
Yeah, $110.
Go for a nicer one, but really it's super effective. Great thing if you're out playing some winter golf.
Yeah, so that first gift we recommend is a heated vest. And the whole idea of what we wanted to do today, obviously 3 weeks out of Christmas holidays, we wanted just to give you an idea of what we think's good. I mean, there's so much, like this whole podcast and swing is about quietening the noise. Mm-hmm. All these magazines have their top 50. So what we're trying to do is say, hey, these are the ones that we think are really sincere and fantastic.
Yep.
And price points, I think a great one, taking the piss a little Aussie, is a broom handle. So most of my guys and girls who travel, we have a lot of finance golfers who travel, and they always break their golf clubs. And so you could take the mickey out of your partner here and just buy literally a broom handle from Home Depot.
Yeah.
And a $4 wooden broom handle. You've got to make sure it's 48 inches or longer, which is basically a broom handle.
Yeah.
And you put it in your travel bag so your clubs don't break.
Just to give it some structure.
Structure. Now, it sounds crazy, but if Rosemary gave me, and I wasn't a golf pro, and Rosemary gave me a broom handle, I'd be like, oh, dude, that is an awesome gift. And it's all of $6.
And if you've ever had a broken club with travel.
Which we do all the time in
heartbreaking.
here. Yeah, heartbreaking.
Yeah, the broom handle does the trick.
Broom handle. I'm also going, what else am I going? There's a new company called Blue Tees. Have you seen those guys? Mm-hmm. So they've got a speaker that you can attach to your golf bag. Yep. That is a speaker Bluetooth, because I just love listening to music when I play golf. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, you got to have it.
Very controversial though.
Yeah.
Like if we've
got more
serious
places,
it's 480 golf courses within an hour and a half of us.
Yeah,
I'm backing 300 of them wouldn't like a speaker.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
but I think it's
love some
very
tunes.
Welcome. So what's your go-to if you're
this one's a speaker and a GPS.
Okay.
So you've got both. You've got your rangefinder that spits out numbers to you.
Yep.
And so you can have your speaker on there and have your music as well. Look, I think for a go-to would be, and a little bit, I think you were talking about this earlier, a little bit of a plug on our business is also an assessment from you and I. I think that's, for our golf nuts, that lays the groundwork for so many people who walk through our door, don't know who they are physiologically and how they swing a club.
Yeah.
So I think an assessment as a gift from a partner to a golfer is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's more giving an experience.
Yeah.
And it also does tie in around the holidays with all the eating and everything and New Year's resolutions beginning afterwards. It's, kind of a plug into getting more active as well. So you start with getting to know where your body's at, where your golf game's at. So whether you're a new golfer or you're one that really wants to make a change this off season, you can come in and we can help you figure out how you make the change.
Yeah, the groundwork of just what you need to work on. And we do eat a lot. Like as Aussies, there's constant meals. So
is there an Australian Christmas dish or?
That's a great question. We're going to love a bit of pavlova. So my beautiful bride, Rosemary, has learned to make the best pavlova.
What is pavlova?
Pavlova, now please, all the pundits on Wiki, don't Don't shoot me down here. For memory, it is 6 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
So it was a French patisserie connoisseur chef.
Okay.
He was trying to date a Russian ballerina, Lovla, have words around that, and he designed this dessert for her to impress her.
Okay.
I don't know whether he married her or went out for a date, but that was the premise behind it. And it's basically a meringue. It's super light.
Okay.
And I could eat literally a bucket load and feel amazing because it's light.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you put fruit. So pavlova, cream, fruit, kiwi fruit, and then passion fruit. Game changer.
Sounds great.
So that's the meal. How about you, mate? What's the Dutch food of choice?
They have, I don't think, at least with my wife's family,
more French influence. You were saying.
Yeah, they have like her mom's French, so probably a little bit more of that. But the Dutch thing they're known for is kind of cafe foods. They call it brown fruit, which are fried goods. So one thing's called bitterball. It has like a meat ragu sauce fried in.
Oh, that sounds
then
amazing.
You dip it in mustard and so similar type stuff like that. But that's not necessarily something people cook at home.
Yeah, yeah.
They'll do like a stampot kind of deal, which is, mashed potatoes, kale, gravy, sausage, kind of a hearty, winter type meal, which I love.
Yeah.
That ticks a box for me.
Yeah. So if you're going up to Colorado to potentially play golf or ski, you want some hearty food there.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So if it's that white winter, you want it to be the satisfying heavy meal.
Solid.
Yep.
So we're getting back to the products here. So our heated vest, our broom handle, and then from there we're doing. I mean the watches. I think the wearables. They're pretty. That's a pretty good gift that you can range from price point.
Yeah, true.
So you can go down the Garmin have the Mark MARQ, which ranges from about $1,500 to $3,500. I sold one last week.
And that's
a beautiful watch. Yeah, they wanted to meet with their. It's obviously not going to be a Rolex at 20 grand, but they wanted to entry level into a golf watch, and it does all the bells and whistles.
Yeah,
and it's a beautiful watch. It's very heavy, but you can also get an entry level for $150, which gives you distance to the pin,
the data you need,
yeah, absolutely.
I have a Garmin, the S62.
The S62,
it's awesome, super helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. And also they've got their little G12, which I think is phenomenal. So some golfers don't like wearing watches. I can't live without my watch.
Yeah.
And so the G12 just basically clips onto your golf bag, and it gives you distance, and it gives you the course map, and it tells you front, middle, back.
Yeah,
which I think is great if you don't want to wear a watch.
Yeah, yeah.
I think
really nice.
One thing, be careful, golfers. You've got a lot of these launch monitors, and unless they're actually camera based, be really careful diving into a launch monitor that's not camera based.
Yeah, and so why would it need to be camera based?
That's a great question. So when you've got a launch monitor that's based on radar, it's basically tracking data from the implement, the golf ball. Mm-hmm. And our whole business, as you and I talk about it constantly, is gear effect and face to path. Now, your data needs to absolutely measure, not calculate the face and where the ball is being struck on the face. Because if it isn't, and you're using that launch monitor to improve, you're not going to get the right math.
So you're missing a big piece of information,
huge piece.
The gear.
Yeah. Now, if you just want to have some fun, go knock yourself out. $600 launch monitor, great. But if you actually are trying to improve, they're really bad.
Yeah. So if you want to, like we talked a couple weeks back about like having a wedge matrix where your distances with half swing, half to full swing, for all your clubs, would a normal launch monitor be good for that, just to tell you the distance?
Look, it probably is okay for distances. Yeah, distances is fine. It's tracking the ball. It doesn't know where the ball's being hit on the face. So if you hit it slightly out of the toe, your speed is going to be diminished. Therefore, your distance is diminished. But for 9 times out of 10, that's pretty fine.
So just for, kind of distance.
Basic distance, no problem.
Okay. But if you really want to focus on face to path, building the efficient swing you're looking for.
Yeah, I think that the best system is the one we sell. It's Unica. It's the iMini. We can put it here. We've put it against our data. Their data is improving with every software upload. And you can take it from an indoor environment to the range.
Yeah.
And it's camera-based. It's actually capturing gear effect. It's pretty cool. If you're a guy and girl who's thinking about doing their garage, or if you're lucky enough to have a spare room in an apartment, I'd love to see that apartment.
Yeah. Are there? Yeah.
What that looks like.
To visit. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's come and visit you. So my best mate, Scotty Phillips back home, Shout out Boogs. We actually on around Christmas, we had a very, very liquid-induced evening with all our crew. And he put a Unica in. I helped him put a Unica in back in Sydney.
Just like what we have here.
Exactly what we have here. Now,
Awesome.
the whole beauty of Unica is that eventually, it's not quite there, but it's pretty close. I'll be able to play Scotty in Sydney, and we'll be able to play each other.
Like set up a match,
Course, same course.
You hit a shot, he hits a shot.
It's awesome.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah, they're getting there. And then one step further is if you went home to Colorado, what's your local track that you'd play in Colorado?
My parents live on a course called Heritage Eagle Bend. So.
Okay, so Heritage Eagle Bend, you can pay not a crazy figure, about $300 or $400. You can get it GPS mapped and 3D mapped.
Cool.
And then you can upload that to your Unica and you can play the golf course.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Oh, it's insane. It's coming. It's not quite released yet, but
really
it is
cool.
coming. So eventually we're going to be able to play each other. If you're in Colorado and Rosie and I are here and we're taking you on it, it's pretty cool.
That'd be a blast.
So that'd be my high-end gift for that iMini. It's pretty insane. But then you can do little things, you know. So Blast and Whoop. Blast is a putting device. We've got them here. That's $150, $170. It's absolutely superb. That Blast every golfer should have, and it's basically a gyrometer that sits on top of a putter.
It looks like a little
gadget. It's like
it's just a little nub. It's like the size of a quarter but thicker.
Yep.
You put it on the handle of your putter, right?
It basically looks like the top of this little yellow nub, and I put it on the handle of the putter. And it tracks rotation, speed, elevation drop. It's absolutely superb. So if you're a serious golfer wanting to improve, doesn't matter whether you're off 30 or 0, you should have a Blast. Best bit out there.
I think for golfers, especially when it comes to putting, there's very little data that people get to actually understand their putting.
Yeah.
So as opposed to getting, I know New York City is pretty popular. People will have a little putting mat that's maybe 6 to 12
Yeah, I
feet
think
long.
those putting mats are brilliant. I think the best one would be that perfect putting mat.
Yeah.
That's really good. It's not $150 for memory. You can roll it up.
And then if you could pair that with the
Blast,
then you get the data, you get some reps in and practice.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
you can come out and take your buddy's money. When
Yeah,
springtime
absolutely.
rolls.
Also buy the little hoops to go with. So you've got the rollout putting mat, you've got the Blast motion, and then you can have these little hoops you can buy, and we're going to have them available to you. And you can have the hoop, it's like a little upside down U, and you can have it 2 inches wide, 1.5 inches wide, then 1 inch wide, and it just gets your face roll to be pretty
Starting
precise.
the ball
Yeah,
on
I
the
love
right
that.
line.
I love that.
Really nice.
And then Garmin have a CT10, which is their sensor that goes in the end of the club, and there's Arcos as well.
Yeah.
Two competing brands. I love the Garmin watch as a watch. Garmin use animation for their mapping of their course. Arcos uses GPS. I much prefer GPS.
Yeah.
But I love the Garmin platform. So it's a little bit of to me, there's nothing perfect right now, but
Sure.
I'd love Garmin to go on their satellite imagery.
Yeah.
I'm dealing with the guys at Garmin, and I'm trying to influence them a little bit. That would be, if Garmin changed from animation to satellite, that would be
that would be awesome.
That'd be awesome.
And then I did want to touch back to the launch monitor. So is there any other one that's camera based that would be a little bit lower price point, more accessible? That you think is worth?
They're all up around, the iMini is definitely the cheapest.
Yeah.
Foresight's around 17, 18 grand.
And that's the GC Quad.
Yeah, anything camera based is really expensive.
Yeah.
Always interesting to me that some golfers dump $1,400 on a driver for only another, 2/3 of the price you get a launch monitor.
Yeah.
With camera based. I mean,
much more value out of
much more value out of that. That thing's going to last you for 25 years.
Yeah.
So what we try to do is just curate a little bit of what you've got. I mean, even something as simple as the alignment rods. Obviously, every station here's got one. SJ's got them in his bag. I've got them in my bag. An alignment rod that we also are going to provide here, that's like $5.
Yeah. And you
Great
get so
gift.
much out of that when
So
you're
much out of
practicing.
that. And that swing plate is phenomenal to put the alignment rod on the angle. You'll see that Fleetwood uses it all the time.
Yep.
And Tommy is a great advocate of that. I've been using it for 25 years.
Yeah, if you look around here, we've got 8 of them sitting there.
Yeah, they're brilliant. So I think the swing. So what we try to do is parlay and pair different products. So you might have a swing plate for, I think he's throwing those from the UK for about $100, maybe a bit more with shipping.
Yep.
And then you put the alignment rod, which is $2 or $3.
Yeah.
That's phenomenal.
Great gift, and you can
Great
adjust
gift.
it and customize it to help with your practice
Yeah,
session.
absolutely.
So,
Yeah, I think the gifting thing is phenomenal. Whoop. Any ideas on Whoop? I'm not much of a
I haven't
whooper.
used it a whole lot myself. I know some people love getting the feedback, and it gives you a lot of insight as to the quality of your sleep as well and your rest, which I think is really insightful. That's a big piece of your performance and consistency too, as we always talk about with golf. Is, if you're rested, good chance you're going to perform
rest.
better.
Although with 4 kids and my wife does a lot of evening calls, my wife doesn't get a lot of sleep.
No, that's a tricky one.
That's a hard one. So, and then a little more serious now for the movement guys, just for some gifts for golfers. Foam roller, Pro Stretch, they're pretty basic.
Yeah, pretty nice things to have. They're important elements to how your body's going to move, but they're not a end all be all.
Yeah.
Passive stretching, that sort of stuff, I find is limited effect. So it's
use
a good
it as a grain
thing
of
to
salt.
have in your toolbox. Yeah, but just have to pair it with some active movement afterwards.
Sure. So the foam roll, which I do a lot, I'm on a PVC plastic bit of
that's
plumbing.
hardcore.
So why is that limited? So if I get that as a gift, and please buy one that's firm. So I like if you're not quite on PVC, that's literally this hard. The yellow one is very dense. The black one a little less so. Don't get anything that's
you want
softer
a pretty hard foam, otherwise it's not doing a whole lot.
So what do you need to pair with that rather than just doing foam rolling?
Yeah, so
in layman's
if
terms?
we just give a quick example, so take your quads, the front of your legs, big muscles there. If you want to roll them out, that's great.
So you're breaking up the soft tissue,
break
right?
up some soft tissue, maybe some fascial adhesions. But if your brain needs those muscles to be on to help stabilize your body, then after you roll them out, you go stand up or sit at your desk for a bit, your brain turns them right back on, the tension returns. There's not much of a lasting effect. So if you use the foam roller first, break that stuff down, and then follow it up with some sort of stretch or exercise where you encourage your brain to let go of that tension as well in the quads, then as time goes on and you keep doing that, you'll actually make an effect at how much tension your quads hold and the length of them as time goes on.
Interesting. So with the Pro Stretch, that's more of a device that stretches your calf. Are you happy with that? I find that for $20. That's a phenomenal bit of kit.
Works really well. And again, same thing. I'd say, you just have to follow it up with a movement that's going to encourage the change you're trying to make by stretching your calves.
So light bulb moment, you mean you can't actually just buy something and makes you better? You actually have to work.
Yeah,
oh my God,
anything passive, unfortunately, it's easier, but less effective long term.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've kind of covered a little bit of everything here. We've covered gifts, both high-end, launch monitors, camera-based. Got to be camera-based. Really, again, I get asked this dozens and dozens of times. Here's a device for $400 or $500. Just know that you're going to get $300 or $500 worth of value, which unfortunately the launch monitor is not going to get it done. And then always ask yourself, is this gift going to be that one that's used once and put in a cupboard?
Yeah.
We're about trying to curate this a little bit and just explain that, hey, there's some phenomenal gifts. The broom handle, as silly as that is,
simple thing,
great gift.
Use that forever.
Yeah. Heated vest, great gift. Are you going to scoot with a heated vest?
Thinking about it, it gets much colder, I'm going to need to.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So that's what we're about. We're just trying to explain that, hey, our job is to get all those Christmas top 50 gift guides to something that's a little more pared down to actually, hey, when your partner, husband, wife, father, daughter opens that gift, it's not that gift that's going to work for 2 seconds. It's going to be a longer version.
And so with all these two, we've put them together on our website. If you go check it out at swing.com with 2 S's, you can see a lot of these same things just so it's easy to find, and then you can make your loved ones happy.
Yeah, let's make the best holiday of all. So beauty golfers, look, thanks for listening to Pivot the Path. And remember, your on-course enjoyment starts with the work you put into your entire game so you can absolutely own your swings. Keep moving, keep swinging, and see you next time.
Yeah, we'll see you around the holidays and leading into the new year.
Travel safely, everyone.